10 fascinating historical events you've never heard of that will blow your mind. History isn't just about wars and rulers. There are countless incredible, mysterious, and downright bizarre events that rarely make it into the history books. Today, we're uncovering 10 fascinating and little-known historical facts that will completely change the way you see the past. Get ready for some truly mind-blowing stories you won't believe are real. 1. The day it rained. Fish in Honduras. For over a century, residents of Yoro, Honduras, have witnessed a strange and unexplained phenomenon. Once or twice a year, fish fall from the sky. Known as lluvia de peces, rain of fish, this event occurs after heavy rainstorms, with hundreds of small fish found flopping around on the ground afterward. While some scientists theorize that waterspouts suck the fish up from nearby rivers or oceans, no one has definitively explained how this happens so far inland. Locals view it as a blessing, but it remains one of the world's most bizarre natural phenomena. 2. The man who survived the Titanic, Britannic, and Olympic disasters. Violet Jessop, an Irish nurse, holds an unbelievable record. She survived not one, but 3 of the most famous ship disasters in history. Jessop was on board the RMS Titanic when it struck an iceberg in 1912 and sank. 4 years later, she was a nurse on the HMHS Britannic when it struck a mine and also sank. To top it off, Jessop had also been on the RMS Olympic when it collided with a warship in 1911, though the Olympic didn't sink. Her incredible story earned her the nickname Miss Unsinkable, and her memoir offers an extraordinary glimpse into maritime disasters. 3. The cats of the Soviet space program. While everyone knows about Laika, the dog sent into space by the Soviet Union, few know about the lesser-known feline recruits. In the 1960s, the Soviet space program experimented with sending cats into space as test subjects to study their reactions to weightlessness. Though the program was scrapped in favor of dogs and monkeys, these cats were critical to the development of human space travel. Their contribution remains a curious and little-known chapter in the history of space exploration, one that has mostly been forgotten by history. 4. The Battle of Karansebes, the war where an army fought itself. In 1788, during a campaign against the Ottoman Empire, the Austrian army managed to defeat itself in what has become known as the Battle of Karansebes. Austrian soldiers were camping near the town when a group began drinking and quarreling, mistaking fellow soldiers for the enemy. Panic spread, and soldiers fired on each other, thinking the Ottomans had attacked. The chaos led to hundreds of casualties before they realized the truth. They had been fighting their own troops. The Ottomans arrived days later to find the battlefield littered with Austrian dead, a victory without a fight. 5. The sun never rose on May 19, 1780. On May 19, 1780, people across New England and parts of Canada awoke to find that the sun had failed to rise. The day remained dark, with an eerie, red-tinted sky, and many believed the world was ending. Known as New England's Dark Day, it was later discovered that the darkness was caused by a combination of heavy smoke from forest fires in Canada and thick cloud cover. Though science has explained the phenomenon, at the time, it was seen as a terrifying omen, and religious fervor swept the region. 6. The case of Rasputin's unkillable death. Grigory Rasputin, the Russian mystic who held significant influence over the Romanov family, had one of the most bizarre deaths in history. In 1916, a group of nobles decided to assassinate him, fearing his control over the royal family. First, they poisoned him with cyanide, but to their surprise, he didn't die. Next, they shot him several times, but he still wouldn't go down. Finally, they bound him, threw him into the icy Neva River, and only then did he drown. Even in death, Rasputin's legend grew, as rumors spread that his mystic powers made him unkillable. 7. The Legend of the Cursed Hope. Diamond. The Hope Diamond, one of the world's most famous gemstones, is not only renowned for its size and beauty, but also for the curse that supposedly follows those who own it. The diamond is believed to bring misfortune and even death to its owners, with a long list of victims, from French kings to wealthy businessmen, suffering tragic fates. While the idea of a cursed gem may sound far-fetched, the pattern of misfortune surrounding the Hope Diamond has been documented over the centuries. Today, the diamond rests in the Smithsonian Museum, where it can't harm anyone, or can it? 8. The Great Emu War of Australia. In 1932, after World War I, Australian soldiers returned home to find their farmlands under siege, not by humans, but by emus. Thousands of emus were devastating crops, and in response, the government sent soldiers armed with machine guns to take care of the problem. However, the emus proved surprisingly elusive, and after weeks of chasing them, the soldiers declared defeat. The Great Emu War ended with the emus victorious and the soldiers embarrassed. It remains one of the strangest military campaigns in history, a true David and Goliath story with a bizarre twist. 9. The Man Who Sold the Eiffel Tower. Twice, Victor Lustig was one of the most notorious con men in history, but his most audacious crime came in 1925, when he managed to sell the Eiffel Tower. Twice. Lustig posed as a government official and convinced scrap metal dealers that the famous Paris landmark was to be dismantled. He forged government documents and arranged for the sale, disappearing with a fortune. When no one caught on, he tried the scam again, but was eventually found out. His incredible con artistry has earned him a place in history as one of the boldest criminals of all time. 10. The Tunguska Event, the explosion that shook Siberia. On June 30th, 1908, an enormous explosion flattened over 800 square miles of forest in remote Siberia. Known as the Tunguska Event, the blast was so powerful that it was felt hundreds of miles away. Though no crater was ever found, scientists believe it was caused by a meteor or comet exploding in the atmosphere. The explosion was hundreds of times more powerful than the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima. Yet miraculously, no one was killed. The Tunguska event remains one of the most powerful and mysterious explosions in modern history. These incredible stories are just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the strange, shocking, and fascinating events that have shaped history. If you're as intrigued by these tales as we are, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to CuriousCasts to stay updated with more mind-blowing facts and hidden stories from the past. Who knows what other extraordinary events we'll uncover next?